Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to the program. It's Friday, May 1st, 2026. Commies all over the world are rejoicing, uniting in their misery of oppressing the population and pretending to care about them all over the world. But on this May Day, we bring you a special refugee interview. A recent arrival to the United States, Jared Steenberg, is joining us today. No relation to the actress married to the guy from Cheers. It's a different Steenberg. But we want to welcome him to the program. And we're going to talk to Jared about something unusual. I haven't really talked to any South Africans who come over, done out-migration. That'll be a big topic in this discussion. But Jared, I'm going to talk about how he became aware of the program, how it's going for him, what his experience has been like, and that. So Jared, goeiemorgen.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. Busy as usual. By the way, folks, I'm kind of jealous. I need a haircut. I'm starting to look like a hippie here. The photograph on the thumbnail, Jared's got like a super cool cut there. I don't know where he got that at, but it looks really cool. Anyway, so Jared, when did you first hear about this program and how did you find out about it?
I heard about this program last year when it started. I was the 12th of February when it started. I was on YouTube and then I heard about it live while Trump was doing a live video and on Facebook as well.
Cool. So you heard about it from President Trump, the man who started the program.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Okay. So what did you do? Did you do a PRM email? Did you do a statement of interest? Did you do an intake questionnaire? Or any or all of those?
I only did a PRM intake.
So you only did the email initially. You never did a May statement of interest?
No. I only did the PRM.
Wow, I think you're one of the first people I've ever talked to that's been the case, because most people, wow, that's amazing. You only did the email. So the reason it's important, Jared, of course, and I think for the audience that pay attention, is that we're trying to ascertain how people are getting over, because the PRM email, February 10th, it came out. Then there was the statement of interest on May 12th, and then the intake question on November 4th. And I have a friend who was in the first 100 in the proof of concept, but never got contacted until a year later. He got contacted after you were already in Erie, and he was one of the first 100 people that flew up there, and he did all three of them. But you only do the email. That's fascinating. So when were you first contacted?
I was first contacted via phone on the 30th of August on my birthday. Then a month later, then I got my second phone call to do the Zooms meeting, and then I had to wait another month for the medical checks and the USCIS interviews and the Zoom meetings again with the Church World Services people.
So you waited nearly 6 months for your first contact?
Yes.
But Jared, I put my intake questionnaire in January. It's March. I haven't been called yet. It's taking so long. That's what I hear frequently.
Yes. No, I had to wait. And wait. But luckily, I'm here now, so I'm very happy.
All right. So when did you first arrive and where did you land?
I arrived the 4th of February this year. I landed in Erie, Pennsylvania, and I got shoved into that place.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, Jared, my apologies. Pennsylvania is much nicer than the experience you had with it. Trust me, it's much nicer state, beautiful place, lots of opportunity. Unfortunately, that hadn't been your experience. So you did the email, you got contact end of August, you got here in February. So that was nearly a year after you first contacted them.
Yes, that's true, yes.
But Jared, I put my questionnaire in January. They haven't called me yet. Oh, that doesn't seem fair. Wait, you waited a year.
Yes, well, I waited, and luckily, for the grace of God, He made it happen. So,
well, Jared, a lot of people come over with families. We even have some single parents come over. You come over as a singleton, and you share people your age. Tell them a little bit about you, if you don't mind. Whatever you don't mind disclosing here. I mean, we don't really. I suppose if you want to tell us your favorite color, you can do that, but you don't have to.
Yes. So I'm 22. I like to ride bike and ride cars and stuff. And my favorite color is matte black.
Did you say Mad Black?
Yes, matte black. Yes.
What the heck is Mad Black? Is that like the background I've got in this Zoom session right now?
Well, only the black part. Yes.
Okay, what's mad? Is there's like something scrawled in it or what?
No, I don't know. It's just a nice color. Matte black looks nice on a BMW. So.
Oh, well, yes, it does look nice on a BMW. I just asked Cyril Ramaphosa in his 7 Series BMWs. He likes those black ones. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, Jared, so you came as a single person. You didn't have any ties that way. But in the end, you're not alone. I understand your parents just recently arrived, and that was a bit of a surprise, their arrival.
Yes, that was actually a very surprise. So, when they arrived, I didn't. My mom told me that they were coming, but I did hear about it, but I didn't like intake it. Like I thought it's a joke.
Oh, in the sorry, go back to the color. In the chat, people are saying matte black. Okay, I heard mad as in crazy black.
Yes, matte black. Yes, matte black. Yes.
Well, they're saying matte, M-A-T-T. You're not saying matte.
Yes, matte black. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But I like
pronunciation there. Okay, yeah, it's matte black. Okay, that's the non-shiny black. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, I still trying to figure out what mad black was. it's the accent between the two of us. Okay, so your parents arrived, and did you know they were in the program, or just their arrival was a surprise?
So they piggybacked on my applicant. So they first called me, and then I told my mom about it, and then I had the interview via Zoom's meeting, and then I asked the lady if she can add my parents that they have their separate cases.
But they still arrived a few months after you. They've literally been here for what, just a week or so?
Yes.
All right. Well, you were in Erie. And your parents arrived in Erie, and you're no longer in Erie. Your parents are in Cleveland. Is everything okay?
Yes, everything is good, yes. Very welcoming, very exciting people, and we talk a lot, and we have fun. On Saturday, I'm going to Monster Truck, so...
You're going to a monster truck rally. That sounds like fun. All right, Jared, now I want you to blink really fast twice, okay? Rumor has it from some agent in Erie, Pennsylvania, that you've been human trafficked. If you're in a dangerous situation, just blink really fast, okay? He did! He blinked fast! Somebody call a cop. Somebody call a cop. Can you believe that, Jared? That was pretty crazy what you told me happened there.
It is madness, and I can't believe you said that.
I can. These people are desperate to cover up their failure to provide services. They'll say anything and do anything. By the way, that organization just recently was given an award for medical help. Yet we've got a lady, I'll have to confirm with her current status, but when she came to meet and greet, she said she'd been in country for 6 weeks, and she's supposed to get infusions every 2 weeks, and she hadn't received a single infusion, so she's in excruciating pain because those lazy turds weren't even processing for medical care. It's a pretty sad situation. We'll talk more about that in a second, but let's talk about where you're at now. So you moved from Erie, Pennsylvania to Cleveland, a whopping 90-minute drive. It wasn't that far. You're staying with Alex and his wife. From by all accounts, they seem like wonderful people. What are your thoughts?
They are so much wonderful people. They took me in, and we talk a lot. We have fun. Yes.
So what are your accommodations like? Is it a FEMA tent in their front yard? Do you have cockroaches running around your room?
I'm living in a shack. I'm living in a shack on their lawn, and there's a frog outside and rabbiting, and he's just annoying me every night.
All right. Well, we better correct that, because somebody will steal the content, make a clip of that, and say that you're living on a tent. No, seriously. What are your accommodations like now?
I have my own bedroom. It is well accommodated. I'm sleeping on a sleeper couch. It is very comfortable. The first night that I slept on the sleeper couch, my back was sore the next day, because my back doesn't know how comfortable it is, because my bed was a little tiny mattress like this, and then the bed base.
So your bed in Erie was thin, and now you have a couch mattress that is thicker. Did I understand correctly?
Yeah.
All right, so you had to get comfortable. But are you okay now? Is your back doing okay?
Yes, my back is doing great, yes.
All right, so do they force you to eat takeaways, or do you get bowls of gruel? What's the food like?
The food, we get spaghetti and meatballs and spaghetti, and they made like tacos, but just with the shells and the stuff.
So I'm going to report them for abuse since they're only feeding you spaghetti and meatballs. That seems a very mean thing to do.
No, 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 no. No, that's very delicious though.
So Monster Truck Rally. Given that you like
Yeah.
cars, that's got to be a fascinating thing to go to.
Yes, it is, yes.
I could see you're looking forward to it. That was one of the first things you told me when I said, "How are things going?" You're like, he didn't tell me how things are going. He said, "I'm going to Monster Truck Rally this weekend." Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Is it tomorrow?
Yes, it's tomorrow. I think it's at 3 o'clock.
Okay, that should be exciting. Take some pics or some short vids if you don't mind, so you can share it with us
Yes,
and we'll
I
share it
will.
with people. We appreciate that. All right, Jared. So my recollection, and correct me where I'm wrong, because tens of thousands of people contact me, so I may have gotten this incorrectly. But as I recall, you contacted me shortly after you arrived in Erie, and you weren't complaining, but you're saying, "Colonel Wyatt, is this how things are supposed to be?" That's my recollection.
Yes, I contacted you to find out if it is supposed to be like this and getting mistreated and all that. I was just like finding a path that I must find out what's right or wrong.
Well, let's not dance around the 600-pound or 800-pound gorilla in the room, because it's pretty easy for people to figure out who your agency was. It was MCRC in Erie, Pennsylvania, which has been supposedly helping Mexicans and asylum seekers and refugees since 1973. But in your case, I don't think they helped you at all. They just made you miserable.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the things that they didn't do for you. Tell me your reception, how it went. You collected the airport, what they did for you, and where they placed you.
So I got collected on the 4th of February and I landed and then they collected me. Then they took me to my place and then they told me get some rest and all that stuff. And then only the next day I saw how dirty and disgusting it is. And then they got me some pork and some meaty things that they eat and I didn't really like it. So I just left it in the fridge and then I threw it away later on.
All right, but what else happened? I mean, so you obviously, did you get cash? Did they give you assistance? Did you
No,
get food?
no, I only got $100. I had to wait for my ABT card. I only got $100 every 2 weeks, and I only had 1 month supply of food, and then I ran out, and then I contacted Sir to find out where is food banks, and then I went to the food bank, and they didn't even stop by to ask me, is there enough food? Are you still well? How are you doing? They didn't even do that.
Someone asked in the chat, are these the photos you saw? Yes, these are the photos you saw of his apartment. I had photos he sent me from when he first got there, and then I took photos myself when I visited his place. Let me go back from my recollection, Jared, and you can correct everything here. Gio, I see you're here in the chat, and I know you're going to take whatever I say and go lie about me in your little groups there. But so, yeah, this is all about my ego. It's not. It's about telling the story. So just be ready for it. I know you're going to steal this and lie. Anyway, so Jared, as I recall, you contacted me and you told me they gave you $100 for food for 2 weeks, correct?
Yes.
And,
Yes,
and my response was, that's insane. No one can live off $100 for 2 weeks, even a single person. If you eat ramen, even ramen's getting expensive these days. So I asked you if they told you about food banks, and you told me that they told you to find food banks. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true, yes.
All right. So what I then did, because people don't see that, but of course I'm an evil spirit. Apparently, I don't know if you know that, Jared. I'm an evil person who doesn't help anybody.
Right.
Apparently, I've never helped anybody who's a refugee because I won't take a moral stand. But as I recall, because it was daytime. This was during the daytime broadcast. You called. I went online. I searched for food banks near your address because you gave me your address, and I found one about 900 meters or so from your house.
It's Saint Martin's. It's
Yeah,
Saint Martin.
And I called them. And I told them your situation, asked if they provide food for you. Then later, about 3 or 4 days later, you sent me a bunch of photographs of box of food. So what happened after I called them?
Then I went in there. They asked me if I'm Jared. I said yes, and then they had lots of boxes of food standing ready, and then they even helped me to take it to my place.
Yeah, it was amazing. I saw the photographs. I mean, they gave you a lot of food. Were you able to go back there for a second trip or just the one trip?
Only the one trip, and then 2 weeks after that, Herman, my roommate, came. So he went to go and get food for us because I was working. So.
All right. Well, that's so. Yeah. So, what's the last thing you said? Who was working? What was working? What?
Oh, I was working because I had a job. They gave me this crappy job, and then I had to go in from 12 to 8 at night. So I couldn't like really go out because there was a lot of gangsters and a lot of druggies and stuff outside my apartment and in my area.
So, what was this job, this crappy job? Tell us a little bit about that.
So I worked at Stagalani's. So they make meatballs, and I had to I had to put pepperoni inside the meatball and then make it in a bowl and then put it on the conveyor belt and then do it the whole day over and over and over again.
Well, that sounds very boring.
Mm-hmm.
What did they pay you?
$11 an hour.
Wow. That's above minimum wage, but it's not exactly a princely salary. So you obviously got your Social Security number and your EAD.
Yes.
All right. So, Jared, this situation, I've seen the house that you were living in, and many of my viewers have seen the photographs. I would describe it as disgusting. How would you describe it?
I would describe it as human unhandleable. How can someone live in there? Like, honestly, had to, I don't know, I had to make food on a dirty counter and I did wash it, but then the cockroaches would go around and spread their stuff on it. And yes, so I just didn't want to. So that's why I kept eating ramen. So, and it's fast.
Yeah, it does cook fast, that's for sure. But Jared, I mean, one concern, of course, you were in a dodgy neighborhood. I know, I was there. I left my car outside. If it was for the fact that my car probably would have been worth stealing with the ruined bearings in the back and the exhaust leak, who knows? It might have been stolen. But seriously, there's no lock on the door to enter your building, and there's broken glass to come in your apartment. I mean, even if the place was habitable, it wasn't safe.
Yes, because the one night I was sleeping there, and then 10 o'clock at night, some black guy came and he knocked on my door, and now he wants to find out where's the previous guy who lived there. So I told him, I don't know, and then he kept asking me all these questions. And then he let himself into my porch, and what was I supposed to do if he had a gun or anything?
Well, he was able to let himself on your porch because MCRC put you in a house without a lock on the door.
Yes.
Folks, did you hear that? Did you hear what I just said? I've seen it. I've shown you the photographs of it. Jared is telling you right here, MCRC, an organization whose director has been put on 2 housing boards by Governor corrupt Josh Shapiro for her excellence in housing in finding safe, affordable, sanitary housing for refugees, put him in a house with no lock on the door where someone invaded his premises, endangered his safety, and then the window to his apartment or his house is actually broken. This is what MCRC does in Erie, Pennsylvania, at least in this case. Jared, any comment?
Yes. So I sent him an email regards to a young lady that helped me write the email, and I sent it to the director of MCRC. Then they told my caseworker to sort it out. I told him, listen, I want a doorknob. I want a lock on my door. I want the window fixed. And they only put a doorknob on the door, like Sir saw. And they never came to put in a lock. And I still waited for the window, and it was never going to come. He said that about 2 months ago. And the window is still not there.
So, Jared, let me get this straight. So, the door that I saw that had a turn handle on it, but did not have a locking mechanism, didn't even have a turn handle on it when they installed the door.
Yes, it didn't have anything. It was just a random door.
And if I just heard you say, let me ask you very quickly, make sure I heard this correctly. I don't want to make a mistake here. It's important. You said that you contacted the director of MCRC. This is Miss Katz, I think her name is. Is that correct? Sound right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. She is an award-winning director of an agency that's been helping people since she's not been there since 1973. She's much younger, but she has received award and been placed on 2 housing boards to find safe, affordable, sanitary housing for refugees. Did you feel that you were in a safe, sanitary housing unit?
No, she can take that word and shove it. That's not true. She doesn't deserve it. Look what she put me in, and then they keep taking her money and all this kind of stuff. No, she doesn't deserve that award.
Well, the award was for medical, but I mean, she was nominated to 2 boards, which would if you're on a housing board that the state is overseeing, and it's supposed to provide safe, affordable, sanitary housing. One would think that you would get at least safe, if not sanitary and affordable. I would say that your place, the only thing that was even remotely approaching was the affordable. Now, not with your grant money, but $850 a month was your rent, and that's affordable actually for most people in this country. But that's the only thing it approached.
Yes. And yes.
So let's recount the story of what happened the day that you sent me the message when I went to Virginia, to Kingston, with all the South Africans down there. You sent me a message telling me that your case officer had met with you, a friend of yours who's also a refugee, and your parents. Can you tell us what unfolded and what this guy said and how it came about?
This guy, so he came into the room, and then he asked me if I got my disclosure letter. Then I said yes, I got it. And then my mom asked, what is this disclosure letter about? And then he said, I don't have an agency anymore, so I'm now basically like an illegal alien in the country because I don't have nobody to help me get my green card and my resident card. And then they just started about human trafficking, and then he said, sir is a human trafficker and I must watch out for human traffickers that are on YouTube and they promise jobs and all this kind of stuff.
So, if I understand you, your case officer told you you're now an illegal alien.
Yes.
That's
because
a lie.
I don't have any agency, yes.
That is a lie. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll get Jared and I both on the screen. That is a lie. He's not an illegal alien. He's a legal resident of America under refugee status. And at 12 months, he must apply for a green card, whether he has an agency or not. Refugees can apply on their own, but they do not have to. And they also don't have to pay for the process. The only thing Jared is going to need now is the paperwork, which you can download from the website. And then he'll have to go to an attorney or a refugee agency who has an approved authorized official to review the document and sign it. And then they submit it, and it costs him nothing. So if you are a refugee and you're listening to this story, do not listen to this nonsense. This is a lying piece of human sludge, the person who told you this. This is a lie. This is an attempt to intimidate you. And the reason he's intimidating you is because every refugee agency receives funding for the number of refugees they're providing support for. And do not be misled, South Africans, when they tell you that we're done with you after 30 days. No. They must provide you refugee assistance services for up to 5 years. When they accept your case, they've agreed to help you for 5 years. Now, that doesn't mean you get help with rent. Doesn't mean you get help for food. It means you get help with resumes and with job placement and counseling services and things like that. So this guy is an outright liar and a shameful human being. And the reason I suspect he did that is because now his agency is losing money, because they will no longer have you on their books. You are welcome to approach another refugee agency in the Cleveland area, Jared, at your discretion, and explain your situation to them. Show them the photographs where they put you. Tell them the experience you had and ask them if they'll pick up your case. They're under no obligation to do it because they've not received any money because the case wasn't transferred. If the case is transferred, that means one agency agrees to take it from another agency. They didn't do that. So they won't get any money, but when it comes time for your green card, especially, you're going to want that help. I mean, this is despicable, folks. I mean, I would name the agent, but I don't know the guy's name, so I can't really name his name.
And then he also went off about they went a little digging on you and found something, and he didn't want to disclose it. He told my mom, my cousin, my stepdad, and my friend that if they found something and they didn't want to disclose it.
And they told you I'm a human trafficker.
Yes.
So I don't know what crime is worse than being a human trafficker. So I'm really not sure what they claim they found. This is beyond the pale, folks. This is what's happening to South Africans. And this is because, and it may not be because Jared is a South African. It may very well be because these agencies, many of them at the local level, have been robbing the taxpayer blind and mistreating refugees for decades and getting away with it. Because most refugees aren't articulate English speakers. And so they don't know what to expect. And you see here, I've told you this before, some agencies, we've come across refugee officers, case officers, who tell people that they will send them home if they don't stop being difficult. We'll send you home. But refugee case officers are non-governmental agencies. They are contractors. They have no authority over you whatsoever. None whatsoever. They cannot make you do anything. They cannot make you do anything, and they cannot do anything to you. They cannot send you back to your point of origin. But if you're from Afghanistan, you don't know any better. If you're from Uzbekistan, you don't know any better. But Jared knew better, and he knew that something was wrong here. So, Jared, what do you think? What do you think
The
about
truth.
it? So what are your thoughts about your agency to help you in Cleveland? Well, I say we're supposed to help you, MCRC.
Well, I've been on the phone for this whole week now until now, trying to get my Dugan agency to accept me and to take me in and help me get my resident card, but they don't answer the phone.
Well, you're going to have to go there. That's the secret.
Yeah.
None of these people ever answer the phone. I've been doing this for a lot of organizations. The only one that consistently answers the phone was the one in Utica, New York, where Pavel works. He's the only one ever answered the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Omaha, Dallas, Austin, Texas, Modesto, California. None of these places answer the phone. I have been called by agencies after the fact where I've helped out because they're following up. They've called me back, but usually they don't answer the phone. So. The question was, why is this not being reported? Well, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that before I even went to Erie, this situation was reported when I met with the director of the Office of Refugee Resettlement, Angie Salazar, and her deputy. I told them explicitly about Jared's case. I explained the whole thing. I told them how this agent told Jared that he had to find food banks on his own. That is not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Let me explain when I left to Las Vegas. I've told you this before. For those who weren't here, maybe the first time you hear this. When I went to Las Vegas, the African Community Center, I walk in. Now, they've got a receptionist and they've got locked doors. You can't just have anybody wandering in there. It could be a safety situation. So you walk in, but on the wall, there's things to greet you. And on the wall, there's an updated list that was less than 2 weeks old with a date on it. Local food banks, addresses, phone numbers. Wow. Right there. You don't even have to talk to anybody. You don't have to do any research. When you go in to visit the refugee center, they have it right there for you. They give you the list. They also had information about where to get furniture because some people donate furniture and a whole host of things. By contrast, this young man was told it's his responsibility. The turd, who was his case officer, refused to do the most basic of jobs. How hard is it for a lazy case officer to go to Google and spend 30 seconds saying food banks, Erie, Pennsylvania, and print a list of them off and hand it to Jared? That's how filthy lazy these scumbags are who make money. And by the way, I don't know what he gets paid, but if you look up what Church World Service, a different organization, pays people in Florida, $80,000 a year to be a case officer. Other places, it's $40,000. It just depends where you're at. But that is the most simple of tasks. This information was reported to the Office of Refugee Resettlement, and it was told directly to the director. So I don't know if any intervention was taken. It doesn't sound like any consequences have been paid yet, because now they've just been given an award for, providing medical assistance for people. Jared, what do you think about that?
I don't know if they deserve it. Like, honestly, they are just a bunch of pigs and they want your money.
Ouch. It's a pigs that want your money. Well, it sounds like it. I mean, I don't want to disparage them, but I mean, I have nothing good to say about them. They clearly are. They clearly are taking advantage of refugees. So, Jared, look, you went to Erie. You had a very bad experience, and some of the folks know this. Jared, in order to survive, you resorted to selling plasma, didn't you?
Yes, that's the truth. Yes.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. And so, did your case officer know you were selling plasma?
No, they didn't know I was selling plasma. No.
Wow. Well, but but you felt no other choice but to do that.
This because my funds ran out in a month's time, and then I had to make a plan because they were gonna put
Wait, hold on, Jared. Your funds ran out in a month. You get $2,000. Your rent was $850. They gave you $100 to buy food. That's $950. Where'd the other $1,100 go?
I don't know. I really don't know. But my funds ran out, and they told me they were gonna put me on caps. I waited and waited and waited, and this was before the sludge guy was speaking you bad. So the previous guy didn't get my social security number after 2 months. And then when the sludge guy came into being my agent, he got luckily my stuff in 2 weeks, and the previous caseworker did nothing. He just didn't do what he was supposed to do. Luckily, the sludge guy did, but then he disrespected you, and yes.
Well, Jared, offline, I'd like you to send me his name because I need his name for a lawsuit against MCRC. I'm contemplating suing this organization, and I'm going to need that information. So Jason Stevens Photography, whom I met in Erie, said he's with a different agency, and he was told there are no food banks in Erie by a different agency. Well, there are food banks in Erie. I found several with a cursory search on Google, and I called one, St. Martin's, and they provided food to Jared. And thank you, St. Martin's, for your generosity, your Christianity, and for helping a fellow human in need. Because clearly, MCRC doesn't help people in need. It's there, obviously, for its own purposes. At least in Jared's case, and not simply Jared's case. I know the case of the lady who has not gotten medical help. She stated she needs infusions for her situation every 2 weeks, if I heard it correctly. And she'd been here 6 weeks and had not received a single infusion, which means that she was suffering debilitating pain unnecessarily because of the arrogance, the ignorance, and the callous disregard for her welfare by a refugee agency known as MCRC, which just received an award for helping people with medical situations. Did I get anything wrong there, Jared?
No, that's the truth, yes.
It's shocking. Look, this is not meant to be an expose about MCRC, but we can't hide this stuff any longer about these people. We tried politely to encourage them to do the job. We tried politely to get them to do the job. I intervened with the Office of Refugee Resettlement on your case specifically. It looks like nothing has changed. Mm-hmm. So now it's time to name and shame these scumbags. Do you agree?
Yes, go full ahead.
Okay, come on, Jared. You got to work with me here. Can't just be me talking, brother. Because somebody's going to run off and say, it's all about the Colonel. He's always right. Usually, yeah. But anyway, Vodka Model just gave 70 Rand super chat saying, thank you for helping Jared and all of us, as you always do. You're very welcome, Vodka Model. All right, well, Jared, let's talk a little bit about, okay, so what prompted you to get involved in this program? Because you sent an email early. You must have been eager to pull that parachute and exit that plane of South Africa, which by the way, the plane of South Africa is in a nosedive headed to Earth to crash. For those of you not diving out of the plane, get ready, brace for impact. When you're on a flight, brace, because it's coming. So Jared, what made you want to jump out of that plane before you hit the brace warning?
So I couldn't find any work for about a year and a half, and I gave up, and then I ran across the program. I applied, and then I got a job as a truck driver in June, somewhere there around, and I did tell them about that I'm going to be in this program, and then I left there, and then I came to America now.
But it was, did you, I mean, was...
And fear of persecution, and future persecution, and past persecution.
So the question there I'm trying to understand is that, did anything bad happen to you before, or was it just you couldn't get work because you were white?
Yes, and our neighborhood was shot up by black people that had taxi ranks up in the town where we lived, and it was just killings every single 2 weeks, and we couldn't take it anymore, and we got out.
When you say we, were your parents also living there with you?
Yes.
Okay, so you were living at home in South Africa, and now, okay, I got you. All right, so Jared, what was your experience like? Now, a lot of people complain about RSC. They keep calling them Church World Service. They're not Church World Service. They're a subsidiary, RSC, the Regional Support Center. What was your experience like with them? You don't have to tell us details of what happened, and we're not asking for that. But a lot of people were angry when they found out Kenyans were reviewing cases. Who are they to approve us? And I pointed out that the Kenyans have no say whether you go or not. They're simply screening people and passing information. But most people I've talked to who were interviewed by the Kenyans said they're very compassionate, understanding people. What was your experience like?
They took everything to heart. They asked if you were alright, they asked if you are safe, and they just went into detail, like, what are you doing now, why are you in the program, and all that kind of stuff.
So, Knight of Justice wants to know, is his roommate, yes, Herman is still living there. Herman has a brother and other family members coming over, and he doesn't want to relocate or move out of the place he's in until they arrive. So he's bucking up with that, and he has a little bit in the way of resources, so he'll be able to survive there. But it's not a good situation. Herman's a good guy. So, Jared, let me answer these two questions first. Hang on, Jared. So, Funde Mava says, how do refugees know what they must receive and how caseworkers must assist them? Is there a paper website explains this? Yes, if you want to trove through dozens of pages on the ORR website, you can find that, or you can go back and watch my video that I made in February of last year explaining benefits and entitlements. It's there on the playlist at the very beginning of the refugee playlist. It's there. And so you can check that out. In addition to that, ORR is supposed to begin in June having webinars. The webinars will tell refugees what they're entitled to, what benefits they get, what entitlements, what their case officer is supposed to do, and how to get their green card. All that's supposed to be coming up in webinars starting in June. It's long overdue, and they're doing it supposedly in June. Let me see. There was, so that answers two questions. Okay. Kenya's Professional says Grok Matrix. Anna says, Colonel, USCS booked us for 20th for person interview. They canceled on the 6th, but could be canceled again. Well, some people, I don't know the dates, and it's not in my head, but some people had events canceled because of these xenophobic protest marches, which affected Joburg and Pretoria. I don't know the answer on that, Anna. Thank you for the 70 Kruger or 70 rands. I almost said 70 Kruger rands. Well, that'd be nice. 70 Kruger rands. I'd be sitting pretty. That'd be nice. Also, let me send out a warm welcome to the Hadidas. Welcome to Hadidas. I misspoke in a chat yesterday. I thought somebody was talking about Hadidas. I'm like, I hate that bird. But there's a group of South Africans who have formed to call themselves the Hadidas. And apparently they're supporters of my program and of me. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support. I did receive the image. I will show it later on the news program that you guys, the heartwarming image you sent to me. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. All right, so let's get back to Jared. After all, this is an interview with Jared, not a conversation about Adidas or me. So, Jared, had you flown before, or was this your first time flying?
It was my first time flying, yes.
Okay, so, well, if you're going to fly, you might as well fly one of the third longest scheduled commercial airline flight on the planet. What was that like?
Yes. It was, so when we took off, my stomach fell down into my own stomach, and then we went up in the air, and I waited like 16 hours and 50 minutes to arrive in Atlanta, and then when we landed, it did it again. My stomach fell into my own stomach. So it was not very nice.
Well, it wasn't very nice. Oh, I love that. It's like being on a roller coaster when you drop. I like that. So, Jared, there's a message here. I'm going to guess. I hope this is your Tani. Jess says, I'm glad there is finally good news for Jared. No girlfriends yet? Okay. Tani Jess.
No.
Tani Jess is watching you. Do you have an aunt named Jess?
Yes, I have, yes.
Look at that. Look at that. Well, hey, Tani Jess. All right. I hope things are going well for you there. All right. So the flight. What about the food? Was the food okay, at least on the flight?
Yes, I was luckily in premium economy, so I had
Whoa. You got premium economy?
Yes.
I get put next to the toilet. How do I? Who did you bribe?
Nobody.
You just lucked out.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you were in premium economy, and so they treated you like a royalty.
Yes.
All right.
Every 10 minutes I get snacks, so I'm fine.
Are you? Oh man. Okay, I got to fly with this guy. I got to fly with him next time. So Vidor Haynes says, "Hey, buddy, we flew together." Does that name sound familiar? Vidor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I know Vidor. Yes.
As Jared to answer in Afrikaans, if he would want to do it again, but being in U.S. truck show will get him one or so. I have no idea what Waving Hunter's saying there. I've read your message, but I don't understand it, Waving Hunter. All right, so the flight was weird. You arrived in the States. Where'd you land? Atlanta, Newark, or D.C.?
I landed in Atlanta.
All right, well, that's chaos. One of the busiest airports in the world. I think it is the busiest airport in the world. What was that like? I mean, were you able to get your bags, or was it confusing and transferring your flights? Because you have to check your bags back into the next flight.
No, so we got received by the people that were supposed to receive us. Then we all waited and went through customs and went through that. That took like the whole day, and my flight was scheduled at 5:00 in the afternoon, so I had to wait the whole day. And we arrived at Atlanta at 8:00 in the morning.
And then you flew. Did you fly to Erie or did you fly to Cleveland? What?
From Atlanta, it was Charlotte, and then from Charlotte to Erie.
Okay, yeah. So that, folks, that's because the hub and spoke system we have in American aviation, like most countries, where the big carriers have their main hubs and all the flights go there. They're feeders. They bring it from remote locations, small airports, to a major airport, and then send you hours. Erie is not a major destination. And after having been to Erie, Pennsylvania, now I know why. It wasn't just Jared's house that I was like scratching my head about. I was not impressed at all with Erie, Pennsylvania. Sorry, Erie, Pennsylvania, just didn't impress me. By the way, Erie is the name of Ireland, so that's I don't know if the Irish settled there, but not a good look compared to Ireland. So, Jared, okay, so the flight you got over here, you received, they picked you up, they took you to a place. Did you stay in a hotel, or did you go straight into that nasty place you were living?
So they shoved me into that nasty place when I arrived in Erie, and that's it. They just shoved me in it and said, have fun.
Jared, I mean, you came from South Africa. You arrive, you're knackered. They put you in that place. If I had been in your shoes, I would have been like, "What the?" I mean, what was your response?
I was like, I switched on the light, and I was like, "What the hell is this stuff on the fan?"
Oh God, yes. If you've seen the photographs, that scummy stuff on the top of the fan, disgusting. Yeah, no, I mean I'm so sorry you were treated in this fashion, and I'm glad that we had good humanitarian, non-human traffickers step forward and offer a place for you to stay. By the way, that slander was not just directed against me, but was also directed against your host, wasn't it?
Yes.
All right, so I'll also coordinate with your host and see if he wants to take any action or not. Anyway, Jason Stevens Photography says Erie is not a destination at all. Nope, it's not. It was absolutely disgusting. All right, so Jared, despite or in spite of your experience in Erie, and now you're in Cleveland, do you have any regrets about joining the program coming over?
No, I have no regrets joining the program.
Do you feel safe in Cleveland?
Yes, I feel very much safe in Cleveland, yes.
And I haven't been to the neighborhood where you're at, but it's on the west side of Cleveland, which tends to have nicer neighborhoods. Is it a nice area?
Yes, it's a very nice area. There's no gangsters and loud music until who knows what time in the night.
I'm sorry we can't provide the entertainment for you. I'll see if I can work on that. Jeez. Oh, my goodness. All right, so no regrets. What are you looking forward to now, other than the monster truck rally? I know about that. Maybe a baseball game. Maybe Alex will take you to a baseball game. He took me to a baseball game.
Yes, I'll ask Alex if he can take me to a baseball game or an NFL game.
Well, that might be a little more challenging. Those things are very pricey. But yeah, NFL game is there. And if you get a chance, when you have time, the Rock and Roll Museum is there. That's pretty cool. Rock and Roll Museum. It's a nice place to visit at least once. I don't know about the second time, but it was nice to visit. One disappointing thing for you, Jared, which I think we've talked about already, and for South Africans coming over here. On March 13th, the Department of Transportation issued a policy forbidding refugees, basically non-green card holders and non-U.S. citizens from obtaining CDLs, commercial driver's license. And I think Jared wants to be a truck driver. So you can't get that until you have a green card. So for at least a year plus, slightly after a year, Jared will not be able to get a CDL. But you can prepare for that and find a place that has a trucking company maybe, that if you want to get a job in trucking, where you go and talk to them and tell them what date you'll be available, and then maybe they can sponsor you, because it makes it a lot easier the process. But CDLs. Another problem, another complication for Jared, one we've added to his kit bag unintentionally, is that Ohio passed a law last year that now forces people who are not permanent residents or citizens to go through the same training that they force 18 to 20-year-olds go through, 60, 70 hours of training, including night driving, which costs like $700. So getting a driver's license in Ohio has become demonstrably more difficult. I've written a letter to Governor Mike DeWine, as have several South Africans responded after I sent my letter in, urging them to change this policy, because it's very discriminatory and it violates, in my view, Ohio's Constitution, and it violates the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. But we'll see what happens. But Jared, that's kind of a stumbling block. But for the moment, you're able to get around. I don't know if you use public transport there yet, or you're just riding around with your roommate. Well, he's not in your room, but your housemate Oliver, and with Alex. How are you getting around?
With Oliver and Alex, they take me where I need to go, and yes.
Jason says maybe an NHL game. Well, that's going to be hard, Jason. The National Hockey League doesn't have a team in Cleveland. The closest National Hockey League team is located in Columbus, the only one in Ohio, the Columbus Blue Jackets, which is an amazing arena. The Allstate Arena is absolutely amazing. It's fantastic. It's a great. I got to admit, from a fan's viewpoint, it's probably one of the best views in the National Hockey League. It isn't too steep. The seats going up. It isn't too far away. You have good angles, but that's a bit of ways. That's a good 2-hour drive from Cleveland if you're not speeding. So NHL would be fun, though. All right, so what are you looking forward to beyond the Monster Truck Rally? What's the thing now that you are out of that drug-infested, cockroach-laden, scumbag piece of rip-off residence that you were in? I'm sorry, I'm giving you the nice version of what the place looked like. Now that you're no longer there, what are you looking forward to in Ohio?
Buying a car, buying a bike, buying a lot of cars and bikes.
So Jared's looking forward to being a consumer. I think the automotive industry likes the sound of that.
Yes.
So Jared, do you mind telling us where you're from, or where you were living with all this chaos in South Africa?
I was from Meyerton in South Africa, yes, in Gauteng.
Just on the edge of the Vaal Triangle.
Yes.
I've been there. I had a braai with Danny van der Westhuizen in Meyerton. down by the water. It was actually quite nice. Although I was very ill that day, I had to drive for a chemist, and there was nobody open in Meriden. I had to drive to Vanderbilt Park, and they went to go look for me. I pulled in the caravan park just as they were leaving. Like, we were worried something happened to you. I said, no, I'm okay. They're like, yeah, it is South Africa. So I got your point. Yeah, you got a valid point. No, but no, the chemist had closed on that main street down there. They were closed, and so I asked someone there. It was a colored guy. I didn't expect to find colored guys in Meriden. It was a colored guy. I said, do you know where I can find a pharmacy? He said, you're gonna have to go to Vanderbilt Park because they're closed. Anyway, or you wait. And I'm like, I'm not waiting here. It looks dodgy. Anyway.
Yes, it is for the most part.
For the most part. Yellow Margarine just gave a 50 Rand super sticker. Thank you for that. All right, so Jared, what about your parents? Were they scared when you were informed that I was a human trafficker?
Well, they did have a couple of like questions and where did I find this guy, and they were like skeptical, but luckily I got you on the phone and you explained it to them that you're not one, so then they calmed down.
Yeah, no, actually, you told me, I said, are your parents there? And I said, can I talk to them? And so we got on the phone, we did a video call on WhatsApp, and anyway, no, it is shocking, bitter ender, as RSA, but that shows you just how evil. It's just like people in these WhatsApp groups and on these other websites and these other programs that commit slander and defamation. People will do anything to discredit honorable people because they're vile, repulsive human beings. And that's what this guy is, a vile, repulsive human being. So Jared is fine. He's healthy. I can't touch him. See, I can reach out. I can't touch him. He's not here. He's not in my basement. He's in Cleveland, Ohio, and he seems to be enjoying his best life for the moment. Anyway, are you, Jared?
Yes, I am very much. Yes.
Well, that's good. Well, Pat Meister just gave a super chat. Says, Colonel Chris Wyatt, it's not much, but a thank you for the effort and the will to drive the miles to assist where possible, as well as to say thank you for all the hope you've given us. Well, Pat, that's very kind. 150 Rand is lovely. I appreciate it. 14 Rand is lovely. Any super chat. It's the thought that matters. Nice comments and helpful comments in the chat are also very good. We appreciate that. But I didn't ask to do this, but somebody has to do it. Somebody that's honorable, that's not trying to exploit people, somebody that's not lying to people, misleading them. And so, that's what I'm trying to do. But I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this. Lili Funded Plus is doing a great job down in Texas finding employment for people. Antoinette's group has helped a lot of people across this country, and they've gotten a lot of grief for it. And shame on people who abuse the group that Antoinette's in. All those volunteers. I met some of those. I met a volunteer in Riverdale. I met a volunteer in Cleveland. Wonderful people who, out of the goodness of their own heart, they give of their time, their money, and their resource to help. I know of one person who purportedly has given $20,000 of his own resources to help refugees. That's just amazing. That's just amazing. So it's great when people help, but I'm not the only person doing it. There are other people helping, and they're all over the country, and they're unsung heroes. They are truly unsung heroes who do a great job. And at the same time, there are Ferraias who are exploiting South Africans. I've talked about the case where I'm investigating where purportedly $6,500 was stolen to ship a pet over. I'm trying to run that down. Also, we've got, of course, other people who steal my content and create these vile, repulsive videos. But anyway, Jared, none of that relates to you. That's just about the refugee program in general. So, Jared, if you had anything to tell anybody about the program, what would you say? Because a lot of South Africans don't even know this program exists. That's one reason why we do these interviews and we ask these questions. We ask is so people understand this is real. It does happen. As of the end of April, we had about 5,000 people here already. Now we're waiting to see what the number is on the 5th of May, which is just 4 days away. And so we'll get those announcements 4 days from now, and we'll find out how many people are over here. And then purportedly, according to Reuters, they're going to increase the cap, which I told people not to worry about, to as much as 17,000 for the rest of this fiscal year, which is 5 months. But Jared, if you were to tell anybody about this program, whether it's real or why you did it, you've kind of explained that already, or whether you think they should do it, whether it's worth it. And look, Jared, this is important coming from you because you're a young man. You're not an elderly person. You've got your whole life in front of you. You really are giving up a lot by leaving South Africa and coming here. In addition to that, you had a horrible reception when you came here. So what you say matters to people because if you believe in what you did, then it says an awful lot about overcoming adversity. So, Jared, I'm going to give you a chance to talk for a little bit. Talk for more than one sentence, brother. Okay, you got to talk a little bit longer. I'm going to put you on the screen and go ahead and tell people your thoughts about all that, okay?
So I would encourage every single one of the people that in South Africa to grab this by the bull and go in, go fall out. You have to do this to get out. You have to get your life back on track. You have to make a success of your life because there's no hope for South Africa, and you just have to make it happen. Even if you don't want to come to US, just come here and you will be safe. There's no like shooting and all that kind of stuff going on here. Well, for the past that I know of, but it's much safer here. You can do anything you want here. The whole America is your oyster. You can do what you want and just go all in.
So, Jared, I know it was a crappy job in Erie, but when you filled out the form, did you have to disclose that you were white?
Yes.
You did. Did that prevent you from getting a job?
No.
Oh, it didn't. So you're allowed to get a job as a white person in America.
Yes.
Oh, oh gosh. Sorry, I just BE. Sorry, just having a little fun with the BE thing. So someone asked a question. Was it Bibles? Hang on a second to jump there. Bible book bites. What would Jared have done different in a bad situation like experience? Get out sooner. I'm not sure if you're talking about. I think he's talking about here in America. Colonel Chris, what do you recommend we do if we end up in the same situation? I think he's talking about what happened to you in Erie. My recommendation is watch the video I produced, which has an email address for the Officer Refugee Resettlement. But also, don't be a Karen, okay? I've dealt with several people who are Karens, unfortunately, who, when something doesn't go their way, immediately, whoa, and it's a give and take, okay? They have responsibilities, but they're not your manservant. But the things we've talked about that didn't happen for Jared are things that they're contracted to do properly. Now, if Jared had asked, if Jared didn't do this, okay? But let me just make someone else up. If Liesel had called her case officer on a Sunday and said, hey, can you take me to the mall? And the case officer said, no, I can't. Well, that's not a basis for Liesel to send a complaint to the Officer After Resettlement. If, however, you find out yourself living in a condition like Jared was living in, you have every right to file a complaint with the Officer After Resettlement. They now have people dedicated to taking those emails and addressing them. What I suggest you do is watch the video on my channel, which says a potential solution if you have problems. It went back. Can one of my mods find that link and put it in here, please? Please find the link because it'll take me a moment, or if when Jared speaks again, I'll try to find it. That video explains a process that's not formalized, but it exists. After my conversation with Angie Salazar, the director of the Officer After Resettlement, and her deputy, they told me they had this email. They gave it to me. It worked. I made a video explaining it, and I came up with a format. They didn't come up with one. They have not complained about my format. They didn't say anything's wrong with it. But basically, what you're doing is providing them all the information they need in order to try to help you. So you can't just send them email saying, I saw one yesterday. Someone sent me an email. This is what I sent to OR. And first off, you should have included me in the email address on the CC line so that I have a copy as well. Because when they respond to all the email addresses. That way I stay informed, and I don't do double work that's already being done by OR. So that's the first thing. Second thing, the person gave a bunch of complaints. Never gave a case number, never gave their address, never told anybody where they were. Didn't even, they only signed it at the bottom. That's useless. You're going to waste their time making them ask you multiple questions. Please follow the format that I gave you. It addresses the major points they need, and also be succinct in your complaints. That's what you do if you wind up in that situation, Bible Book Bites. Also, you can write me an email, but you have to understand, I've got someone now in Buffalo running around lying to people saying that I never help anyone. He said, well, I'm not going to talk to him. I talk to people. He never helped them. He promised. I've never promised to help a single person. Jared, did I promise anything for you?
No.
No, I said I would try. And not only did I try, we succeeded. But the point here is that I have thousands of email messages, thousands of WhatsApps. My phone is still, if I open up my WhatsApp right now, it'll still have that message. Your device is receiving a high volume of messages. Messages from unknown accounts are being blocked. So I'm not even getting WhatsApps from people right now who are sending me messages that aren't in my address book because I'm getting so many messages. Also, so if you send me something, I don't ignore it. I just now got through emails from the 15th of April, 16th of April, and 17th of April just yesterday. I started that 2 or 3 days ago. I spend 2 or 3 hours a day answering email. I have no obligation to do this. I'm trying to help. So Bible Book Eyes or Bites, if you send me something, you need to highlight in the subject line. And don't just, everybody puts down urgent. And not everybody's situation is urgent, so please don't do that. But your first recourse is the Officer After Resettlement complaint line. It's an email address. Please do that. Waving Hunter says, Colonel Wyatt, no promise, but over-deliver. Well, thank you. That's right. I don't promise, but I agree with you. I over-deliver. Jared, would you agree with that statement? He says that I don't promise, I over-deliver.
Yes, you over-deliver, yes.
Well, I certainly try. Look, I got hungry when I saw those boxes of food that St. Martin's gave to you. I was like, dang. Hey, St. Martin's, I don't have any food. I don't have money. Can I get some food?
That's just half of it. So when Herman went, he went to all the food banks there in Erie. He brings home a lot.
Wow.
He brings boxes and boxes and boxes of food.
Well, Jared, let's talk about that briefly. So that speaks volumes, not about MCRC, but about Americans and their generosity, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes.
There's a organization here that provides all kinds of help, not just food bank, but they have a food bank, but it's like a grocery store. They've got
Yes.
meat freezers, they've got shelves of food. And New Hope Ministries, they feed 45,000 people out of a county population of about 570,000 every single month. It's crazy. And it's all because people donate things. It's amazing. Oh, hey, there's Chris Sean up in Rochester. He says, you never promised us anything, but you sure delivered. Yeah, Chris, I just wish I could have delivered in your case sooner. But you're doing well. Chris is doing well in Rochester. And that's what really kicked this all off, folks. I mean, I have been answering cases in Modesto and Austin and other places all over the country, Virginia, dealing with them one-on-one. But then the situation in Rochester became so bad that I had to drive to Rochester. And Chris, in a snowstorm, I got there and I was greeted with 4 inches of snow. Anyway, I hope everybody in Rochester is doing better, and I know the more recent arrivals said that they were greeted well. Jared, you don't have any regrets, but do you have any regrets about leaving MCRC?
I don't have a single regret leaving those douchebags. I don't want to go back. They can take everything and shove it where the sun doesn't shine.
Okay, Jared is definitely becoming an American because I don't know that anyone else in the world calls people douchebags other than Americans. I'm just saying. Oh, that's messed up. That's so messed up. Yeah, Salvation Army also has Salvation Army has a food bank in Erie. Yeah, that's one of them. Okay. All right. Gosh. Jared, anything you want to share with anybody? Because we're going to wrap up here in a second. I don't want to miss anything we might have talked about here.
Not that I can think of right now.
All right. Well, Trevor Charles is asking a question. So if we get a dirty place, no porch lock, and a broken window, we should out-migrate. Who said that? I didn't say that. I don't know if he's being a smart ass. I never said that. Never said that. I never told anybody out. Jared, did I tell you to out-migrate?
No, you did not, sir.
All right. When I came to your abode, we'll call it that. It wasn't much of a house. When I came to your abode, we sat down in the kitchen with Herman and with you.
Yes.
And I laid out the option that was offered, the generous option by Alex and his wife to provide accommodation to pick you up. I also said that you could stay there. And also,
wait for sir, yes.
And I says, and the third option, I says, I will look for, because I wasn't able to, because the damn rental agencies around here near me, all the agents go home at 3:00. They're like on banker's hours. And I have been working at the work college, don't get home till 5:00 every day. I call them. They're like refugee agents. They never answer the phone. You'd think a place renting places would answer the phone, but they don't. So I did get a copy of a contract, and but I was trying to see if they had availability. So I told you I would look at a couple residence places around here because I could get you a job that pays $14 an hour guaranteed like that.
Yes.
But I said, I'm not trying to get you to out-migrate. So those are your options, and I'm not trying to influence you. And that's how I laid out. Is that how it came out?
Yes, that's how it came out. And then Herman and Nick and all the other people that were there, like Haney and some other guy, don't know what his name is, but he also helped. So they all came to me and they asked me to explain the situation. Then Herman and all them said, you have to take this Cleveland because you are not going to survive here any much longer if you keep being here.
Yeah, so your fellow refugees are the ones that encourage you to leave, not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Well, you as well. You as well. But
I didn't encourage you. I laid out options for you. I didn't encourage you. I said, Herman, are you in the chat? Herman, I said, it's up to you, Jared. I can't tell you what to do. That's a verbatim quote. Did I say that, Jared?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did say that.
Okay. Don't give people the impression I tried to encourage you to out-migrate. I didn't do that. But I did help you out-migrate, but I didn't encourage you by finding an option for you. So if you have broken windows and a lock, then contact your refugee agency and have them get a hold of the landlord and get it fixed. That's not a reason to out-migrate. In Jared's case, for 2 months, they refused to put a lock on his door. In Jared's case, they refused to give money. And where did the $1,100 go to? This is a question that needs to be answered. That agency owes Jared an itemized list by law under their contract they're supposed to provide him of everything they spent on his behalf. Did you get the $100 more than once or just the one time?
Well, that was only the one time, but then they went to the EBT office, and I got an EBT card, then $100 every 2 weeks.
Okay, but that EBD, if I'm not mistaken, that should be benefits from the state. If I'm not mistaken, that's a different source of money. So
Yes.
that's not from your grant money. So where did the $1,100 go? This is another
Well,
question.
apparently they bought some food, and I didn't. They bought cans of food, and I didn't have a can opener, and their kind of food like ramen, and I don't eat like what they eat, so they got me all the stuff they ate, and I didn't eat that, and they got me potatoes, onions, sour lemons, a lot of stuff, but everything was expired, and then I had to throw it away.
So they didn't buy the food. They brought you old food. So it sounds like
Yeah.
something else going on there. Anyway, wow, that's so yeah. Okay, someone asked a question. Wait, no, who has said, why can't, it was Night of Justice. Why can't people just try to help themselves first, then contact? Yes, Night of Justice, many South Africans have helped themselves. I mean, there's 5,000 South Africans here. I haven't helped 5,000 South Africans. There's no way, not even close to that. I've helped a few hundred South Africans who've had issues, but thousands of South Africans are taking care of their own issues. They solve their own problems. The folks in Columbus, Ohio, if I recount the story, and if they're in here, they can correct if I'm wrong, but they were put into a Red Roof Inn that was dodgy and prostitutes and drug needles outside. I might be embellishing, but that's what I remember hearing them say. And they're like, no, this is not acceptable. They weren't rude. They told the agency, you cannot put us here. It's unsafe. We just left an unsafe situation. They moved them to another hotel. Then they showed them accommodation, which was not nice. And they're like, no, we're not going to settle here. They want them to sign no, I can do it. So they went and found a complex of their own by searching online. They found a place, and it looked lovely. They asked, and it looked affordable. It was only like $50 more or $150 more a month than what they were going to pay at the other place that was not livable. So they asked their agency, can you negotiate this for us? The agency contacted the rental agency, and they said, we have some Africans. And like, no, we're not taking Africans. Now, before anybody says they're just racist because assume, Africans and black, the reason why that place wouldn't take Africans is they had Africans live there. Many Africans live in the complex. And almost to a family, they destroyed the apartments. They trashed the place. They were obnoxious and rude to their neighbors. They cooked things outside. They made a mess of things. So as they left the place, they stopped taking Africans in there. And that's their prerogative. They don't have to take a resident if they have concern. So the difference is those are Africans with different cultural values and norms, not Africans who are South Africans. So the South Africans, upon hearing that, went to the place on their own and met with the realtor. And the realtor's like, oh, well, you're like proper folks. Wow. And all the South Africans now, or most of them, are staying in that complex, most of them. And they have a lovely, by the way, the apartment I stayed in, it was small, but it was nicer than any apartment I've ever rented. It was amazing. So yes, many South Africans are taking care of their problems on their own, and good on them. And Mboa plan, right? But in Jared's case, what's he supposed to do? He doesn't know any better. He's all by himself. Nobody was in the house with him. He has no transportation. He's dumped there. And if you've been there, you'll understand. You'd have to walk for an hour to get to anywhere that even looks remotely safe or useful. It's a real crap hole, isn't it, Jared? A crap hole.
Yes, it is where the druggies and the lay people live there, and there's some random guy. Well, I'm so glad I don't live there anymore. There's this random guy every morning at 2:00 in the morning. He screams "fuck" on the loud, and everybody hears him.
Sounds like he's got mental issues.
Mm.
So Jason says, did they even buy you any furniture, Jared?
The two couches was donated, but Sir did see the couches, so I wouldn't recommend that couches.
I didn't sit on the couches. All I sat was on a chair in the dining room, which was pretty nasty in itself. And then he said, surely not $1,100 worth. They had new furniture bought from our money as a family for. Yeah, see, that's irresponsible. And I've told people about responsible case officers, like the one here in Harrisburg, who is judicious about money. When he had to get a hotel for the first South African family that came in under the program to him, there's a new hotel. They wanted $189 a night. And he's like, I can't do that because they have limited funds and we have to be judicious with their money. And so the manager said, well, I can give it to you for $120. He said, thank you, but let me think about it. So he went and found another place for $90. He came back and said, listen, I appreciate it. You got a new hotel here, and I know you've got costs, but I've really got to be careful with their money because they only have so much and it has to last as long as possible. And I found a place for $90. She has $89. Sold. And he's a tax-exempt organization as a refugee agency, so the room was in their name, not the refugee's name. So it was tax-free. So the total cost is $89 a night. They spent 4 nights in a hotel, didn't even spend $400 on their hotel bill, and they moved into a house down in the place where he already had a job. I mean, that's judicious use. Buying $1,100 of furniture with a few $1,000s of your money is asinine when you can get donated furniture from the Salvation Army or from other places. Anyway, sorry, it's important to say that. So here's Storm Chasers in Ohio. Storm Chaser, did we meet? The username's throwing me off. All I can say is that most Americans are seriously awesome and friendly. We were so lucky in Ohio, except for the driver's license. In just 1 month, we've moved into our own place. We have almost everything we need. The kids are enrolled in school, and if all goes well, we will be getting our car tomorrow minus the license issue. Well, wow, look at that. It's amazing for Storm Chaser. Congratulations. Neighbors help out like mad. We love this place. That's awesome. Storm Chaser, are you in Dublin or are you in Cleveland? Anyway, please share. Chris Wyatt, food is same issue in Cleveland. Some of the food also expired. Rotten needs to be thrown out as well. That they gave you, Luna. You see, that's crap. Security deposit in first month's rent. Yeah, well, that's $850 and half a month's rent. That's $1,200. That doesn't explain the $2,000. So you got $1,300. East side of Erie is not nice. Luckily, on the west side, says Jason. Okay. Jason took some photographs of us at the event. Sounds like Eddie Murphy. The guy yelling F. If you have money left, must it be cash? Yes, it must, under law. Any money that hasn't been spent on your half and you out-migrate, which, I discourage. People lying, telling people I've told people, because someone's lying in X telling people that I told people to leave their apartment in Ohio because they were taking Uber for $40 and that they should out-migrate. No such thing. These people just make up all kinds of crap. No. If you do cash out and you out-migrate, they have to give you whatever cash is left over in the form of a check. And a family that did that here from Maryland got 3 checks for their $9,000 that they were owed. 3 checks. Kathy says, I can picture him sitting on the floor and bursting into tears and saying, is this what I came to? What a champion to get through this. Well, Jared, Kathy Price said, you're a champion, man. Cool. Oh, you're in North Ridgeville. Okay.
Thank you.
So Storm Chasers, we didn't meet then. All right. Sorry we didn't meet. And Jared said, thanks. Jared, did you have to sign a lease? Yes, but Jared had a month-to-month lease.
Yes, luckily for that, yes. But I also have news on my roommate. He is moving in with Nick sometime, I don't know when.
So he's out of there too. So Herman will be out of there too. All right, cool. That's good news. I don't know. Someone asked where Herman's from. I don't recall where Herman's from. I think he told me, but I don't recall. Thelma's addressing wrong content. I didn't see that, Thelma. Willy Nilly says, please do a follow-up video about all the stuck cases and any updates. I've done a few of those, and then I just get attacked by these scumbags in their groups. I'm not really sure what value add is by making videos where people simply attack me and steal my content. It really gets frustrating. Why does the experience overall sound more positive for families than singletons? Oh, it's very simple solution to that, Leona. Families get $2,000 per head. So if you got 5 children and you've got 2 adults, that's $14,000. Okay, $14,000 will last a lot longer than $2,000. It's simple math. It's simple math. Simple math. But a lot of singletons. Veroshka is doing well. Veroshka, are you here in the chat? Or no, she's probably out doing a job interview right now. For all I know, she's in Carlisle. There are many singles who've done very well. You just have to, Kathy, are you doing okay out there? We got Kathy on tomorrow. She'll talk to us about her experience in Phoenix. A lot of singletons are doing very well. Now, unfortunately, the original singleton, our OG, was Thea von Straten, and she's disappeared. I hope she's okay. I no longer get a second tick mark when I send her messages. She has no reason to ghost me, so I hope she's okay. I was hoping to have her on for May 12th because May 12th marks 1 year since the first South Africans arrived here under the program, and we're gonna commemorate it. So, Rattel says, Jared, I'm sorry you had to go through what you did. It's very upsetting. It's very unfortunate. Thank you so much, Colonel White. Well, it's my pleasure. But I wasn't the only one. The food bank, St. Martin's, helped him. And I'm not the one providing housing. Because, look, I told Jared flat out, you can't stay in my house, man. You're not staying here. But Alex and his wife took him in. So thanks. Look, can we get some hearts for Alex and his wife? I mean, Alex is a viewer. If he's watching the show, he's being very quiet. But come on, folks. Can we get a little love here for Alex? I mean, Jared would still be there because I wouldn't have gotten an answer for Jared until this week. And he probably wouldn't have been able to move out till I could get up there, which would have been, my car had to be repaired. So the soonest I could have gotten to Jared would have been tomorrow. Or today. That would have been the first if he came down here. So yeah, so Alex is a real hero here in my book. Do you feel the same way, Jared?
Yes, he is. And his son and his wife.
Yeah, Oliver's a pretty cool dude too. I went to the baseball game with Oliver. I really enjoyed that. So cool beans. All right. Oh, well, Cliff Clifford's getting carried away. Alex deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know about that, but he deserves some recognition. That's for sure. All right, Jared. Let's go ahead and wrap it up here. I hate wrapping up with big audiences, but we're not just trying to get clicks. But let me see if anybody's got any quick questions here. There's Colonel Joy Thrawn. How you doing? And good luck, Jared, says Andrea. And save my spot in your yard, Alex. Dylan Combrick. Dylan's been waiting a long time, so I've known Dylan for a long, long time. All right, so Alex, any final thoughts? I'll give you the floor. You want to share with people about your experience, about America, about Americans, not about monster truck rallies. We'll save that for the next conversation.
Oh, okay. I think it's very safe. I think it's very I like the area. So there's a lot of bars and clubs around here that I'm going to investigate sometime. But rather than that, I went to a movie with Oliver last Saturday. It was very fun. Meeting his friends was fun. The area that we stay in is very safe. There's trees outside. It's just a blast, and I would recommend going all in for this program.
All right. Well, you recommend going all in for the program. I'm going to say that, remember, folks, Jared is 22 years old and he is alone. So it's understandable he's looking for bars and clubs. I would just recommend that you go light on the alcohol if you drink alcohol and stay.
Yes, no. I'm not gonna go all in like going drunk. No. I'm like gonna get 2 or 3. That's it.
Okay. Veroshka's out to food bank. Now, Veroshka's just been here a short time, and her money's not being wasted. But she's being smart. She doesn't have an income, so she's going straight to a food bank. She's only been here for less than 2 weeks. Smart move. There's no shame in that. All right, so well done. Is there a place for my tent? I don't know, Waving Hunter. You'll have to get in touch with Jared in Cleveland. I don't know. All right, so your aunt's saying good boy. Tani Jess says good boy. Okay.
Yes.
And Hendo says... Yes.
May I say, when you are done, to all the people who helped me, can I say thank you to them?
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. You want to say it now, or was that your thank you?
When we are done, yes.
Well, I think we're almost there. I'm just going through what people are saying here at the end here. Anel Opperman says, thank you for everything you do for refugees, Colonel. You're very welcome. Jared must just go watch out for spiking. For the drinks, yeah. And then Hendo said, Jared's out looking for birds. Yes, he's bird watching. That's what he's doing at the bars. He's bird watching. All right, Jared, if you want to give a thanks, go ahead and do it now.
I want to thank you to Alex and his wife and Oliver and Isabella. That's the people what I'm staying at. I want to thank you to Herman, who's my old roommate. I want to thank you to Nick, who helped me through my difficult time, and Herman. I want to thank you to Colonel Chris Wyatt, that was there for me and in the need of time. I want to thank you to Henny and his wife. I want to thank basically everybody who helped me, even St. Martin's. They gave me food, and all those people, I hope they get so much blessed that it's unreal.
Well, that's brilliant, Jared. Just a second here. I've got someone named Maritz van der Walt says, Mommy is watching. Welcome to America. Good luck in Cleveland. I know you succeed. Is that your mom?
Yes, that's my mom, yes.
All right. Well, I hope that they succeed in Erie, and I hope that the attention we're shining on MCRC gets them to start doing their job. Otherwise, I mean, you're gonna have to find a tent for your parents in Cleveland.
No, so she also wants me to contact you about their living situation. So I'll just share it with you when you are done here.
Oh my goodness. All right, folks. No rest for the wicked. I guess I got to start getting on their situation. All right. Okay. Jared, bye-bye, donkey, for your time and also for the pleasure of getting to know you and for welcoming me into your hovel in Cleveland. It was an experience, to say the very least. I'm glad that Alex and his wife and Oliver were able to offer something for you, at least short term. Yeah. By the way, you're not being exploited. You're not charging your rent, are they?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good. I just want to make sure we make that clear so people understand. But I want to thank them as well for stepping forward. Alex approached me at the Cleveland meet and greet, said, hey, Chris, I got to talk to you. I said, sure, what's up? He said, I've talked to my wife, and we can't, good conscience, let Jared stay in those conditions. And we have a place for him. My son lives here. You can bring him. So I said, well, I will go meet Jared. He seems like an upstanding young man, but, that's on camera. That's in conversations. Let me meet him. before I send you a problem. Let me make sure he's the real deal. And so it was twofold. It was twofold, Jared. I mean, I can't. If you were like a troublemaker and you're just a Karen, I couldn't in good conscience ask him to pick you up. So I went and I met you in person, and I found that you're not at all like that. You're genuine, just like I thought you were. And so I told Alex. We sat down right there in your kitchen. I dialed Alex. I put him on speaker. I said, Alex, you're on speakerphone. I'm with Jared and Herman. And I want you to meet him over the phone before you ever come up here. And we did that right there, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, that's going to be.
And I also want to thank Jay for having my support and being there for me. And she must be safe.
All right, there you go. All right, so Jared, thanks a lot. I'll let you drop off the stream. Have a good day. Enjoy the Monster Truck Rally. I'm envious. I'm just doing interviews tomorrow. I wish I was going to Monster Truck Rally.
Yes. And then we're gonna go to the bar, but thank you.
Yeah, we weren't going to share that part. You had to let the cat out of the bag.
Yes.
All right, Jared, have a good day.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right, let me help him get over there because I don't think he knows how to do it. Okay, that was Jared Steenberg in Cleveland, Ohio, folks. A recent arrival from South Africa who had a very bad experience in Cleveland with the MCRC, who seemed not to care about his welfare at all. So let me take these off. I don't need those on my head anymore now that we finished the conversation. So I hope that you found that informative. I appreciate it. And once again, the questions I ask for those who are just nasty farayas are not about me. And the things I explain are not about me. They're about the program. You want to talk about me and my awards, my life, and what's going on in my life? That's on my night owls. We do that when people ask me questions. All these questions have a purpose. Jared never did the statement of interest. Jared didn't follow my advice. I didn't ask Jared, and this is one mistake I made. I should have asked him when he started watching my program because Jared didn't follow my advice. He never did a statement of interest. When I was at Wimpy on May 12th, when that message came out on the U.S. Embassy website and it was unclear, do I do a statement of interest if I'd done a PRM email? I told people the program was just experimental. You should do the statement of interest from Wimpy, those who watched it. Jared never followed my advice. And Jared got over here before my friend who was in the proof of concept, PRM email, statement of interest, and intake. The lesson there isn't that you made a mistake by doing the statement of interest or the intake questionnaire. The statement is that the point of that lesson is that we finally talked to someone who only did the PRM email. That hasn't happened before. So that's fascinating. I'm sure there's other people who've come over that only done the PRM email, but we haven't had a conversation with anybody that said only PRM. I always ask that question. That's why I asked the question. I also asked the question, which I forgot about this time, which I normally ask is, I did ask the question, where'd you hear about it? So Jared didn't hear about it from me. He heard about it on the news, and he's a young guy. That's important for people to understand, okay? For you nasty scumbags out there that make this all about me because your penises are too tiny and your attitudes are too pissy, pay attention. Pay attention. These are legitimate questions that serve a purpose to frame how people learn about the program, when they found out about it, how they got over here, whether or not they were listening to my program, whether it was helpful to them. These are the reasons we ask these questions. All right. All right, guys. Anybody else? That's it. All right, good. Yeah, I am telling Vanessa because they're nasty people. And thank you, Jared, for the interview. I enjoyed it. The news will be up in about 10 minutes. You'll be automatically redirected to that. We'll cover the news today. Thank you all for tuning in. God bless and have a good day. Don't forget, tomorrow we have Roxy. Roxy is the South African refugee who was shot in the head the Friday before she was supposed to fly. Just days before she was supposed to fly, she was shot in the head. She survived it. She's in America, and she'll be on tomorrow with her family. That's at 9 Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. for you on Pacific Coast. So I'm sorry you have to get up early if you want to watch it live. It'll be 3 p.m. South Africa time tomorrow. Roxy will be on the program. I'm so looking forward to that interview. She's a lovely lady. I spent 50 minutes on the phone with her the other day in a video call, and she has an indomitable spirit, and that's what the thing is about. Don't ask questions about the shooting because she doesn't know. She doesn't remember. That memory is gone. She has no way of knowing what happened, and no one else knows because no one else was there. So we don't know what happened. We do not know what happened. So let's just leave that. We're going to talk about her indomitable spirit. Roxy will be on tomorrow. And Kathy Price will be on later in the day. But in between those, sandwiched in between them, we have Lili Thunderplas, an update. We haven't talked since December. We're going to talk about what we know, okay? Cool beans. Danielle Funsale sent me an email about what? About what? Yeah, it's amazing news on Roxy. Well, her thumbnail is not up because she hasn't sent me a photograph yet. I'm waiting on a photograph. Otherwise, it'd be up, okay? Awesome to see so much support there, even in dark times. Thank you, Chris and team, for everything you guys do and everyone involved. You're very welcome, Daddy Sarcastic. Like the username. Yeah, I like that. All right, cool. All right, guys. Take care. Have a lovely day. We'll see you in the news in just a few minutes. And thanks for being with us. Really do appreciate it. God bless everyone. What's this? Sorry. Well, the videos are up. I had 6 videos posted. 6. This is 1. The second one's coming out, and 4 more are posted, including next week with Minri, which is a follow-up. Minri is in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. She's having her best life right now as a refugee in America, a new arrival. And she'll be on the program next Wednesday after I come back from judge training. That's it, folks. See you shortly. God bless.